Hello, everyone. Happy to have you with us today. Very happy. I'm Flav from the Blockchain Game Alliance, and we have our new members presentation. So for those who don't know, we're very happy to welcome our new members who joined the BGA recently. And the best way to kind of kickstart our new relationship with them and for the other members to identify who is to have this 1 hour session when we have the members, the new members, presenting themselves, introducing what they do, who they are, and kind of try to see how the other members could see the value of being connected with us. So again, Flav, very happy to be with you today. We're going to kickstart that with the first speaker, because we have like a full load of speakers today with 5 new members, and very happy to have Magnus as the first speaker. Magnus, whenever you're ready, you can share your screen, and the stage is yours.
Okay. Do you hear me? It's working?
Perfect. Yeah. Well, yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Magnus. I'm the CEO and founder of Trilith Games, that is developing the Genesis engine, which is a Web3 infrastructure for regulated Web3 gaming, basically. We're based in northern parts of Sweden, and we started a couple of years ago, but we have gone through, I think, roughly 3 pivots during that time, and we ended up with building infrastructure for Web3 gaming. We're still very early, but and a small team, but we are starting to get some minor traction, and we are here for the long race, so to speak. But what we're building the rails for the future of Web3 gaming. We're building infrastructure and developer tools, and the mission is to provide the necessary rails that Web3 gaming has finally realized that they actually need when it comes to regulations, stop scams and rug pulls, etc. And it's built specifically for studios operating in these regulated markets. And compliance first, players first, and sustainable economics, basically. So the ecosystem is part custodial. We basically have the licenses that you need for managing your tokens, etc., etc. So you don't have to think about it. You can focus on actually making the game while we take care of all the regulation and so on. And of course, compliance, identity, and regulatory safety. And then it's also marketplaces and economy toolings and other tools that you as a developer needs. And the plan is also to support all of the major gaming chains, so you have everything into one single platform, basically. So to join the platform, you as a developer, you have to be fully doxed, which has been a problem before with some teams. They haven't been doxed, and then they basically rug pull the community, etc., etc. We will enforce KYC and AML protocols across the entire ecosystem. And we also plan to build up a safer fund. So if a game shuts down or a studio shuts down or there are hacks, we can hopefully pay back some of the potentially lost funds or the investments users have made when they played the games. We also plan to provide a milestone-based funding platform where you as a developer can unlock funding for your game. One of the problems I've seen in the industry is basically game studios get several millions upfront, and then they don't produce any game, for example, or they produce something that isn't really that great of a game. So here, you unlock the additional funds when you actually can prove that you can build a game and you reach certain milestones. And of course, the milestones is flexible and defined collaboratively with us and the game studio, etc. And all the funds will be locked in an escrow account in a multi-sig wallet, and they are released upon verified completion of agreed milestones, with us possibly also the community, and a third-party auditor as well. So we handle regulations, we build the race, and we ensure the compliance, and the studio can basically focus on the game, drive the engagement, and build the fun. And then we also plan to launch a partner program that will support studios to succeed on the platform. It depends a little bit on where you are as a game developer. If you are a small to a mid-sized indie studio that are quite new, we give you the indie track, which gives you high-touch mentorship. It's more like an incubator type thing. And we will allow 5 to 10 studios per cohort. So we focus on quality over volume. Then we have the premium track, which is more established studios. They will get direct access to the Launchpad, so they can get funding quicker. And our target profile is basically indie to mid-sized studios, because we see those as having the most problem with paying for regulatory licenses and legal teams. Teams with long-term vision, studios that want Web3 capabilities without becoming a regulated operator, basically. Selection criteria will be, you basically must pass the regulatory checks, you must be fully doxed, and gameplay comes before tokenomics. Of course, the tokenomics has to be good, but the game is what actually drives if this is working or not. And then, of course, a viable strategy for long-term sustainability. Compliance first is one of our mottos, and radical transparency. We will be very transparent with how we are doing as a company, etc., etc. And we are working for a long-term sustainability in the industry. We want to be here for a long time. I actually have a long-term plan. It's broad, but it's like 15 years long. So I plan to be here for a very long time. And we want to rebuild the trust in the Web3 gaming and capture the upside of sustainable studios, because I think the trust has sadly been lost. And we are looking for studios that are interested in joining the platform once we have a beta or alpha version, possibly. And you're basically free to contact me if you're interested. That's it.
I love it. Thank you very much, Magnus, for the presentation. Welcome. Although it's been a few weeks already, we've been welcoming you in the BGA with some first activities. And as you said, the objective is to have conversation with the indie game developers as well, as per what you propose. So welcome again anyway, and happy to have you with us. And we'll be happy to onboard you in a few activities later as well.
Yeah, love to.
So the next speaker will be Alexandru. We had a conversation like not long ago, which was 1 hour ago, which was quite interesting for the sake of what we could do and how the BGA could help. But I would love you, Alexandru, to introduce yourself, but also if you have a deck or something, please feel free to share your screen.
Thank you very much, Fabian. Indeed, it's a pleasure to be here with the BGA community. We've been involved quite heavily in the Web3 space, and we love to be part of the community and help you with our knowledge, strategy, and skills. The contract review can be done also with ChatGPT, but that's outside of our ballpark. Let me share with you a presentation that I prepared for BGA. And
as soon as I can see it on screen, I will display it myself.
Sure, I uploaded it. Let's see if it works.
You're good to go.
Perfect. So, we are Lexters. We are lawyers, but not only lawyers. We are helping our clients with their strategies in growing their businesses in the Web3 phase, but also in the Web2 space. We've been here for a while. We are based in Bucharest, Romania, but we tend to be asked to be European lawyers because based on the regulations on MiCA, we know our drill on the European regulations. And from time to time, we also help Web2 companies, startups who want to grow in the US, because in Lexters also has New York bar attorney qualified lawyers. Just to give you a glimpse about myself, I've been working years ago for the World Bank, so the regulatory policy perspective. Then I had the chance to study in New York and became also a lawyer in New York. I was covering tech law, international disputes, international arbitration. Then I worked in London for a big law firm, and at that point on international arbitration, and then at that point some cool Romanians became my clients, and they were developing Web3 blockchain infrastructure. It was more or less in the 2016, 2017. It was more on sort of a master nodes blockchain infrastructure developing. We created our token. We grew. We had a big community. We didn't do an IPO. At that point, we considered it not to be fair to the community. It was purely a utility token. And then we also failed. We remained good friends. And then with all that, accumulation of knowledge in this space, we were like working from Bucharest, London. I moved back into lawyering, and from that moment on, with Lexters, we've been assisting various clients in this space. If we can move to the next slide, I think I can also move it. So yeah, we built a business law firm mostly working with technology startups and also with venture capital firms. We provide in general advice on deep tech, IP, corporate, and we've been involved in various M&A transactions. We work also with Web3 and gaming teams because a lot of your companies are coming to us and say, this is our dream, this is how we want to achieve it. And then you need a sort of a legal mode where everything should be, so to help you sleep well at night while you grow your business. Of course, we are also involved in disputes because that's unfortunately the big another part of being a lawyer. Also with Web2 and Web3 type of litigation, we've been involved also in recovering assets for clients from centralized exchanges, for example. On the team working with me, a couple of my colleagues. Tudor Veliac also worked in New York on private equity, corporate matters, and then coming back with me, and we created Lexters. And two of our rising stars who've been involved in many areas of Web3, white paper building, white paper draftings, and international structurings. So on whom we work with, as I mentioned previously, digital asset businesses, game studios, accelerators, and then various tech platforms, SaaSes, software and services. And in general, also with founders, we are, let's say, founder friendly because we understand their pains, because we also come from a profile of a founder and we know the pains, we know how it is to try to tick all the boxes from VCs to all sorts of governmental authorities. We've been there and we understand this, and we have let's say, more empathy than the classical white shoe law firm. We've been fortunate enough to work also with big and small players. Some of the names, you see them on the screen. We've been honored to grow our skills and exposure to the ecosystem by working with these clients, and not only. And maybe one of the promises that we want to provide to the to give to the community is that we are hopefully doing having an impact in the community. We would want to help you out in clarifying some of your strategic points, either on IP, on how to structure your tokens, your NFTs, how to structure your businesses, what's going to be the dynamic between yourself and your co-founders and your investors and your communities, and cynically enough, not to to make sure that you're not getting into disputes, even if disputes are quite a good activity for lawyers. But we are more into the let's try to prevent rather than simply going to litigation. It doesn't help the business in general and your startup for sure. So here you are. We are really happy to be with you in the Alliance. And for any questions you would have in the future, please don't hesitate, reach out, and we'll be happy to set up a call and see how we can help. Friendly calls are more than welcome. So looking forward to engaging more with BGA in 2026. And thank you very much, Flavian, for the opportunity.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Like, as I said, we had a first intro call 1 hour before to kind of see how we could work together for the sake of, for the benefit of the members, and have already a lot of ideas. But we already were fortunate to work with you and to capitalize on your expertise, because you helped us build these stablecoins in gaming report. And again, it is the first report on such a topic, and Lexter was a contributor of that to give this regulatory landscape about what you can and cannot do regarding stablecoins in gaming. So we really valued this contribution, and I'm sure, and I know we're going to be able to work on a lot of other things too. So yeah, welcome to Lexter's. Thank you for taking the time. And if anyone would like to connect with Alessandro, you can also with the team you have on the Blockchain Game Alliance Telegram group. So yeah, thanks again, Alessandro.
Thank you very much.
And going to our next speaker, Michael. Good to have you with us from Tolan Universe.
Hello.
Maybe one of the games.
Thank you so much for having me.
Maybe the game I see, I wouldn't say too much, but a lot in my XFIT. So happy to have you with us. I would love you to, I don't know if you have any presentation. Yeah, you do have a presentation.
I do. I sent it to you. Should I share my own screen, or are you going to share it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well.
Go ahead.
Just a moment. Working on it. I should choose slides and PDFs, right?
It could be, or if you have it on your screen, you can already share just the screen.
Oh, share screen. Okay.
Yeah, it's easier sometimes.
Got it. All right. I can start, right?
Here you go. Perfect.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, we're Tolan Universe. Been building for about 4.5 years, I would say. Launched the game last year. Moved to Abstract in the late Q4 last year, and launched our season 4, which became basically our breakout season in late December last year. Currently sitting at one of the top games in Abstract position. I would say one of the top 2 games in Abstract so far. And would love to show you what we've been working on, what we have going on, how were we able to get here, and what are our plans for the future. So Tolan Universe is a competitive roguelike built for viral growth, designed specifically for Web3 native players. Here are a couple of visuals from the game, and I can play the trailer here and talk a little bit more about the gameplay. Basically, what we try to do is to combine extremely good quality, I would say Web 2 and above quality level gameplay with really Web3 native monetization and economy in the game. And I think we found pretty sweet spot with the game that we launched. It's in its core, it's basically Vampire Survivors with RPG and Souls-like elements. You might have seen a lot of those games on the internet, like Survivors.io is the most popular one on mobile, or Vampire Survivors itself is the most popular one on PC. recently the biggest hit from the genre on Steam was the game called Megabonk. So that's the core gameplay. When it comes to our marketing efforts, we were able to achieve all of those numbers you see on the left fully organically. We're currently at about 96,000 monthly revenue and almost 8,000 monthly active users. We were the first crypto game featured at largest indie games showcase called OTK Games Expo. We had our booth at GDC last year, at East Denver a couple of years ago. And the way we were able to achieve this traction without spending any money on marketing, like literally was $0, is by designing the game specifically for streamers and clippers. We've seen tens of streamers streaming our game on a weekly basis, doing regular tournaments. I think I can make it a little bit larger so it's better to see. And after they stream, there are so many moments that are being cut into short form highlights because players are always like a second away from dying, or they're playing with a lot of, I would say, money on the line, and if they die, they lose everything, right? So there are a lot of moments that are very good for viewers to watch. This is why we also became #1, the most streamed game on Abstract Portal over the last couple of months. So yeah, as I said once again, I would say the biggest reason why we were able to get so many players and traction is making the game extremely streamable. What next? Yeah, this one just goes and talks about our platform and how it works. Basically, players, we launched weekly tournaments. We put about 1.5 ETH into the prize pool in the beginning of each week. And then 40% of everything that players buy in the store goes into the prize pool as well. So every week prize pool grows to about $6,000 to $8,000, depending on the ETH price. And then top 100 of top performers share this prize pool in the end of the week. We also currently developing Auction House to make a lot of in-game items tradable and allow players to trade them with each other. And this here is how starting of the game looks like. You basically choose how many crowns you want to activate during this run, and then you choose your multiplier, and then depending on your multiplier, your final score of the run will be added to the leaderboard X amount of times. And then, as I mentioned, top 100 players split prize pool with each other. So our team background is from both Web2 and Web3. My background is primarily Web3 native. Was active participant in East Global Hackathons and was doing some stuff with Gitcoin early in the days. And my co-founders coming from the heavy video games background. My co-founder James spent 40 years in the industry, developed more than 100 titles, and they worked with Sammy in his previous mobile game company. So this is basically it. I know it's been a little fast. Right now we are working on scaling the game on Abstract, and recently signed a publishing deal with Warp to scale the game even beyond Abstract and acquire more users. The things we're looking for are just more ways to acquire users and other Web3 communities to collaborate with and bring their IPs into Tolant Universe. And also bring Tolant Universe in other ecosystems as well. We collabed with more than 10 projects so far, and always looking for more partners to create meaningful synergies with. That's it.
I love it. Thanks a lot. Like that was one of the questions I had. Like you said it yourself. Yeah, the game you have is unique, although it belongs to a specific genre, and you said it, on Steam, available on Steam. How do you see the difference between you being available on Abstract over Steam? Why this choice, and how do you see these difference?
Are you asking like what's the difference between launching the game on Abstract and like versus on Steam?
Yeah, for you as a game, how do you see that differences in terms of distribution channel?
Well, Abstract is very particular, and like I would say Web3 in general is very particular distribution channel and audience in general, right? Launching the game on Steam is completely different beast from launching game in Web3. And for the most part, if you have a good game, you might perform pretty good on Steam. Launching games in Web3, it's like making it exponentially harder for yourself, right? Because you need a good live service mechanics that is something similar that games have in like a regular mobile Web 2. And at the same time, you really need to understand the culture and also create a sustainable economy that will also create a sustainable ROI for players on a regular basis. And doing all those components together, it's almost impossible task. This is why we've seen so many game studios in Web3 shutting down recently. But I think what we have is very good expertise in Web2 that allowed us to make a game that is matching and in many cases overcoming quality of many Web2 games, in the same time understanding of Web3, and like me and a couple of our other team members being Web3 natives ourselves, helps us understand the Web3 world and how to cater to players and users in this world, and understanding what certain norms this world has that completely contradicts norms in Web2 gaming, and being able to properly cater to those players.
I love it. Thanks a lot, Michael, for that. I mean, it could be a 1-hour conversation session just with you, because I really liked what you do. And
Appreciate it.
The focus on sustainability is not something you see everywhere on Web3 in gaming. So I really appreciate you being a part of this ecosystem and crushing it. So yeah, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you anywhere, and welcome again.
Thank you so much, Flo.
All right, so going to the next speakers, and first Claudio. Claudio, if you're ready, you can share your screen and the stage is yours.
Yes, I am. Thank you. So yeah, sharing my screen. So I'm Claudio. I'm the CEO of Magix 5. Hopefully you'll see now my deck.
Yes, you can go full screen. I think it's, yeah, you're good to go.
So one word about my background, because it's instrumental to explaining why we're doing this. So I spent 10 years in the blockchain Web3 ecosystem. At some point, I led a very large Deepin project. So I learned a number of hard lessons about Web3 projects, and some hard lessons we decided to leverage them for this project. So what we're doing here is that our project is based on partnering with other Web3 projects. And the idea is that we want to help Web3 projects build engagement for their communities. And the way we do this is by putting additional value and use cases for their tokens. So in particular, we want to transform DeFi participation, which is instrumental for the growth of the project, into a game. So DeFi becomes playable. What's the problem we are addressing? We're addressing the fact that there are very good Web3 projects which sooner or later will be launching a utility token, but sooner or later means that when the token is out and people get it in their wallet, most often than not, proving real value from the project and reinjecting this value back into the token is still a long way far. So what happens is that the token is out, you have it in your wallet, you don't quite know what to do with the token. Attention decays, so the community will lose engagement with respect to the project, and eventually you'll be creating value. Your project proves outstanding, but you have lost along the way lots of people. So how can you mitigate this risk? What projects usually do is to throw money at their community. So airdrops, expensive staking schemes with very high APR, and all these things. The problem is that this is not good enough, because it tends to be mercenary. It tends to encourage opportunistic behavior, grab the money, and then, well, that's it. It's finished. So it doesn't. This kind of measures do not really build the long-term engagement or loyalty for the community. So what's our idea here? Is that if you embed one of the pillars of Web3 project growth, which is token liquidity and DeFi activity, into a game, then you can build loyalty, because you give instant utility to the token. So to be very precise, what we do is, for example, we set up a pool, a DeFi pool, our token together with the token of a third-party project, and people who add liquidity to this pool receive NFT identities, which are part of a game, which are So the liquidity, the LP part, is embodied into the NFT, which means that the NFT is transferable. But the NFT is also the gateway into our gamified world. So you can participate in quests, season, streaks. The NFT lives forever. It's a collectible. And so it's a gamification layer or protocol, if you prefer, on top of standard DeFi, on top of Uniswap, and things like that. You can do a number of things. You can mine our token. You can breed CryptoKitty style and get out of two NFTs a new one. So the slogan is, we build loyalty for our partner project by giving instant utility to their token. Our MVP is our first campaign. We call it Season 0. And the lore is about dwarves mining in a cavern. So there are some NFT identities which can just mine our own token, the explorers. Other can hold liquidity that you added in a pool, as well as mining. And what we call the overlords are really our corporate partners. So you are a project which wants to add additional life to its token, additional use cases. You are an overlord. You can co-brand with us a cavern where the mining happens, which is essentially the DeFi trading. And we build together loyalty. So typically we set up a DeFi pool together with partners. The pool is gamified as a cavern and things like that. There are incentives to supply liquidity to the pool. And what's very important for people who know a little bit about DeFi is that if you want to monetize your position, you have an alternative to the obvious thing, which is removing liquidity from the pool. The remove liquidity from the pool would be detrimental to the project. The alternative is that since the liquidity is embodied in an NFT, you can resell that NFT on OpenSea, for example, because the NFT does carry the position, the financial positions. So that supports more stable pools, stable TVL over time, as you say. So the benefits for partners is that you give instant use case, an additional use case to the project token. You build loyalty through gaming mechanisms. There can be new revenue lines in terms of selling artifacts and skins and things like that. Liquidity is more stable in the pools, and you get exposure to the gamer communities. So that is the key idea. Now I'm going to play a 1-minute kind of trailer of our Season 0 campaign, if you allow me. And again, this really comes from our experience as not so much as gamer myself, to be very honest. My co-founders are gamers, but my experience as a leader of a Web3 project, which was doing sensible stuff, monitoring air quality across the world, but keeping a community engaged. Once you release a token, it's far from obvious unless people can do something with the token in their wallet. So what you see here is our MVP, which is going to be released next week, essentially. It's fully decentralized. There's a suite of smart contracts, so all actions happen on-chain. So you get these NFTs, which are dwarves. You can, in order to activate it, you have to stake our token. You can breed and get additional NFTs. There are engagement mechanisms like Wheel of Fortune and all these things. And this is essentially a card game. And we are really looking for partners, Web3 projects who want to use an additional, who want to build additional engagement for the community by setting up DeFi pools together with us and using new mechanism to foster engagement. And what really important for us is long-term engagement. Okay, I think I can stop here. Thank you.
Love it. Thanks a lot, Claudio. Super intrigued by the product you just showed. So I know that I may have the opportunity to see it on live next week, because we're going to have the chance to see each other in a few days during Consensus Hong Kong. But it looks fantastic, and I'm happy to get our members and the tokens they released involved into the process of the MVP you did. So thanks a lot for the presentation again.
Thank you for having me.
And last but not least, Galina, would love you to present Burly Awesome. So whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to alternate between the pitch deck, the website, and YouTube, because I want to show different things.
No problem.
Okay. Is my screen sharing now?
Yes, it is. Yes, you can now.
Awesome, thanks. Okay, well, hi everyone. Super happy to be here. I'm almost a little intimidated to, to present our project because it's so early in development, and I see that everyone's like really done their, a lot of work. But hey, you have to start somewhere. So I'm the founder and CEO of Barely Awesome. We're a small team of four, two co-founders. The other co-founder is from Turkey. I'm from Bulgaria, and we have the CTO is ex-Hacken, Yevgeny. He's a really cool dude, and we have a CSO in Dubai. He has 20 years of experience with game design. So this kind of started like a side project about a year and a half ago, but we really started, like getting down to work last year. And right now we have a live demo with 3 levels and 6 playable characters. I call them Bearlies. So they're like, cute, chunky bears. It's a fun first, cozy 3D platformer, which currently it is only single player, but there is going to be a co-op mechanic. So this is not going to be a player versus player style game. It's going to actually be one where you need to collaborate with other players to clear certain obstacles and levels. We're currently developing 3 more levels, and we're going to release them towards the end of this month. We launched on Steam actually 3 months ago, and we were at a 78.6% click-through rate on over 80,000 impressions. We had nearly 2,000 wish lists, and now we're at a stable 60 to 64 CTR rate. So at that point, I was like, okay, we're getting a lot of good traction from Web2 gamers. And this is actually, I want to just specify that this is a Web2 game with optional Web3 mechanics. So we're not going to, I've been in crypto since 2012. I've had the privilege to work on a couple of really amazing Web3 gaming and other, DeFi and other projects. And it's just been a little disheartening to see Web3 games with a lot of potential just fail one after the other. And I think, the speakers before me, I think they touched upon the points of why that happens. Number one is because, when you prioritize play to earn and play to own mechanics over what gamers want, which is, to just have fun and enjoy themselves. That's really what it's about. You're kind of left with, just a really predatory and, exploitative economy. So there are going to be, like I mentioned, Web3 mechanics. There's the Genesis NFT collection of the Bearlies is ready. These are customizable characters that are going to be, you're going to be able to own them and play with them in the game if you want to. If not, that's fine. There's going to also be a token, but neither of those Web3 mechanics are going to affect gameplay in the slightest. So again, the game is entirely accessible from a Web2 and a Web3 angle. I'm going to play you the trailer while I talk. So like I said, we're pretty early in development. Right now, I'm actually in the glorified begging stage of the roadmap where I have to go to VCs and ask for funding, and they in turn ask for more traction. And it's kind of like a sort of a catch-22. So I'm not a big fan of that, but everything has been bootstrapped so far. And, at some point we just need a little bit of help, to take it to the next stage and hopefully turn it into a fuller version of the game that I envision and I really hope it to be. And yeah, that's basically it.
That's great. Thank you very much. I love it. Super excited by the by testing the game as well. Would love to help with everything you're looking for. I know it's tough time, especially now. But I like the kind of aspect of the game you have, and the fact that you're not pushing anyone into the ownership level of it. So congratulations for the game design too. That's super cute.
Yeah. Well, so, that was the idea. Cute and cozy and adorable.
Yeah, I can see that. You also talked not here, but to me about not just. I think you worked on. It's an IP, so you want to deliver the IP across other formats, and I think you worked on a few things already.
Yeah. So currently it's available for Windows and Android, but ideally, obviously the goal is to make it available for iPhone and also Switch. That's the goal.
Okay, with the availability of physical products as well, right?
Yeah, I actually worked on that was another thing that I was really preoccupied with the last couple of months. I designed a couple of physical collectibles. So they're limited. They're plushies, they're crocheted keychains, and 3D printed bearlies. Like those I actually have at home, but my kids, like took all of them, and they're like, they claimed ownership over them. So like, I have to order more now.
At least I guess they didn't sign with their wallet to claim the ownership of it.
No, really old school. They're just playing the games that don't have access to the internet. I'm a hypocrite like that, like every parent.
Sounds great. Yeah, welcome to the BGA, Galina, and I'm excited to see more and more about the game and the gaming mechanics you're going to release.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you very much, guys. I think it was a very effective new members presentation. Very excited by everything you're building. I hope everyone in the audience is as well. I wish you a very good day, very good end of the day for some of you. And I see you next time. But again, thanks a lot, guys, for being a part of this new members presentation. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.